Today is Sunday, June 30th. It is 6:43 a.m. and we're on our way to 7-Eleven. We're going to be getting $4 for 1.9 miles. Let's head on over to 7-Eleven. Great, thank you. All right, well, I went ahead and I got the order, and you can tell it's not a very good order. We're only going to be getting about $4 for this trip, but there was not much else going on that was worth taking, and so I just sort of told myself that as long as the miles are still good, so still $1.65 a mile, that we're going to go down to the $4 range. So that's what we're doing. We decided to start accepting the $4 ones, which isn't exactly great at all, but you know, you do what you got to do to get the business. And then I also thought that I would also keep the Uber on in the background, just in case, like if something comes in for Uber, because we're going just to a short drop off. It shouldn't be a big deal as far as accepting an offer with Uber and having this order dropped off, but I just turned it on right now. I turned Uber Eats on just right now, so I already have the order. So all that's involved is just a drop off, and then whatever Uber happens to say, then that's what we're going to take. So we're on our way to the drop off, 2 minutes away, 1.2 miles. So yeah, it's been really slow. Yesterday I went out later in the day. I didn't record anything, but I just went out and I did this one Walgreens shopping order, just because it was good money to mile ratio, and it was really close to home, and I thought it would be super easy. And of course it wasn't. It was super hard. They had no phone service in the Walgreens. It was makeup. It was all these different items that were scattered throughout the store. It was on a third floor apartment, all stairs, and they had no internet at the apartment complex either. So it was a disaster. It took me and it was only like a 3-mile trip for 8 items, and it took me 45 minutes to complete it. So it was really long. But the money was good, so it still worked out to $20 an hour yesterday, so it was fine. All right, well, we're getting close to the drop-off already, so let me turn off the navigation, and then we will proceed on here. And it's going to be a contactless delivery, so that's going to be simple. And it doesn't look like it's in a gated community, so that's good. So it's going to be real quick and simple, and then that's just gonna do her, and then we'll be hopefully getting something again pretty soon. I got some borderline offers this morning that looked good, but they still were not $1.65 a mile, so I didn't take them. All right, let me turn the camera around. Now we're tuning into the community. It's gonna be the second left. Ooh, someone got in an accident. Yikes. And let's see, going to be coming around this bend here. And it's going to be a house on the left. I think it's the second one.
Call customer and arrange drop-off location.
Yep, it's this one here on the left. And turn it around. And then let's start the process of the contactless delivery. I received the instructions. I will call them up and try to give them a call. Oh, nobody answered. All right, let's go deliver it. right, well, that delivery went just fine. There was no real problems. It was a contactless delivery, so it threw me because normally what I do is I activate my screen recorder so you guys can see the picture being taken at the door, but because it was a contactless, I'm always worried about something going wrong in the app that will cause problems. And so I just did my basic recording of walking to the door, and then I immediately went to the contactless delivery portion of Doordash and was like, oh no, I'm not tinkering around anymore, because I've had problems before with the contactless ones where things disappear and then it makes me have to call the customer again, and that's so time consuming. Something's coming in from Uber Eats. It's less than $4, so I don't really care how many miles it is, so it's gone. And so yeah, now we're on our way back to the base, and we'll probably be waiting a long time for the next one because it's been real slow. That's the only reason why I took that $4 one. I was like, well, I want to do something. I'm just so sick and tired of just sitting around at the house. I was actually just considering turning it off and washing the car in the driveway, and I was like, I was like, no, I really should be focused on doing this, and when the car is really dirty, then I'll wash it. And so it's not at that point yet where it's like urgent. Although if I had to drive people around, I would wash it. I would have to just, do it, because when you get people coming to your car, they inspect everything. They're like looking for the tiniest little thing to be critical of. So you got to make your car sparkle when you have a person in the car. So, but just for delivering food, nobody cares if my car is a little dirty. It's like, oh, whatever. And so anyway, we're almost back at the base, and yeah, we will just have to wait and see what comes on in next. We got another one. It's another Doordash, $7, 3.2 miles. Let's go to Starbucks. Well, I was stuck at home for a little bit. I was having some plumbing things again, but that's all worked out. So it just has to do with, I guess there's just a problem with the gaskets and the, not gaskets, but there's just a lot of water that forms on the sink sometimes when people are using the sink. So it causes some flooding, and water gets in through the cracks and crevices of the attachments that are on the counter that create, gap points that go underneath the sink or whatever. It's all resolved now, and I'm still grateful to have those water sensors under the sink, because they tell me when something's going wrong. I'm sure there's so many people that have this situation going on, and they don't realize it's happening until months or years later, when they finally go under the sink and their whole bottom of their sink is rotted out from moisture. So at least I have that device that detects that issue, so that I can take care of it right away. So yeah, but that slowed me down. So I was at home a lot longer than I thought, and I'm sure I missed a few good offers, but it's all good. And so yeah, so I just went ahead and did that, and then I was trying to figure out if I wanted to adjust my rate today or not, and I still think I'm gonna stick to $1.65. I was like, should I drop it down to $1.50? And I'm like, well, it's just 15 cents less a mile. Every time I would get for every 10 miles I do, that's $1.50 less. But I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, well, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to lose $1.50 for every 10 miles necessarily, or I don't know. I just thought, I've just noticed that I use my miles are really optimized when I'm set up for $1.65. But maybe I'll try going to $1.60. A nickel down doesn't sound as painful. All right, we're almost there. I'm going to hit the arrived at store. All right, we're turning in. right, we're ready to go. Okay, well, we got the order and we're gonna be going 5 minutes from here. 1.8 miles. Let's back this car up. All right, so everything went fine in there. The order was just sitting there. We just grabbed it and on we went. And I didn't see the usual crowd in there, so it looked like it was the weekend set was in there. Oh gosh, is this guy gonna make a left or not? Okay, no. All right, so yeah, so everything was fine in there, and it looks like it's just gonna be another slow day so far, unless people are sleeping in, and maybe it'll pick up a little bit later. I don't know. We'll just have to see how it flows. Weather's fine today. It's about 90 degrees at 7:53 a.m. Everything's going along just fine. I'm just trying to keep my stress level managed so I don't get myself too stressed out trying to do this job and manage things at home. And let's see, what else is going on that's even remotely exciting? Everything. Oh, somebody sent me a comment about the videos and they didn't care for the music or something. So I don't know what the solution is about whether or not to put the music or not put the music. Let me know in the comments if you have opinions about the music. Some people seem to really like it. I mean, they said that the music, they like the way it starts and stops at those points where I'm just sort of walking around and stuff. So I was like, oh, okay. And other people have the opposite opinions. They're like, I just turn that off. I don't want to hear that music. So I thought about doing audio narration where I'd just be talking about, as I'm walking, saying stuff. But that takes more time. And then I was like, well, maybe I should try to say stuff while I'm walking, but then I would have to hold the camera closer to where I'm at, and that would make it real obvious. And people are looking at me usually when I'm walking to their apartment door or to their house door, because they're expecting me. And to see me talking in the phone, well, that would be kind of weird. So, and then I thought I could maybe mic myself, but that looks weird too, because then people see you have a microphone. They're like, why is that guy got a microphone? Is he like some kind of reporter? So yeah, so I'm like, that's not gonna work either. So yeah, I'll figure it out. It seems like there's really just kind of like 3 options at the moment that I'm thinking about. It's either doing during production, adding in the narration where I sit there and think of things to say on the fly, which of course takes more time. And then the other one was just to have no music and I'll just go back to the way it was before. So I'll just see how I feel about it. I kind of like the music, but I think I just have to find the right kind of music, because it just has to be subtle. You just turn it so you can hear it, but it's not so obnoxious where it's blaring really loud. So I'll figure it out. All right, we're getting close to the drop-off. Let me turn off the nav. All right, so that's off. And let me show you the neighborhood. And here we are in the neighborhood. I think I have to enter a gate code. Look, see what the code is. Okay, I got the code. Around this way. Let's see, coming up here on the code box. Let me go punch it in. Okay, well, that delivery went just fine. There was nothing too unusual. It did have like these weird windows that were on both the left and right side of the walkway when I walked in. It was really kind of creepy in a way, because it makes you feel like somebody's like watching you on both sides when you first walk in. Normally when you go into those type of walkways, it's just like walls on the left and the right, and there's just a door. There's not normally windows, so that was kind of strange. Obviously, maybe when the weather's nice, they open up those windows and they get a nice breeze coming in, I guess. But for somebody that's like I'm sure for a salesperson or someone that's just coming that doesn't know the people, when you first walk up, it just kind of feels like all eyes are on you, because they got a door where they can see you through that window. Then you got a window on the left, you got a window on the right, and then you got their Ring doorbell right there watching you too. So you just feel like, boy, this is like all eyes are on you when you come to that door. So all right, well, nothing at all's coming in, so it's still deader than a doornail. It is 9:51 a.m. and we're on our way to Target. We got ourselves a Doordash offer for $33 for 5.1 miles. And we're gonna have to shop for 16 items. Let's get on over to Target. Really surprised that this one came up, because everything has been terrible all day today. It's been a very lousy day when it comes to offers. So I just had the app on and I was just gonna leave it running until we finally got at least one more, whatever it was. And so when this one came in, I was just in shock. I was like, wow, this is a really good one. So this will make it where we actually make some significant money. Otherwise, I think we're gonna just end up with, I think our current amount is like $11 or something like that. So it was gonna be a record breaker for one of the worst days I've ever had doing this delivery job. So or any kind of gig work, as a matter of fact. So very happy that this one came in. I think we're close enough now where I can go ahead and go to the shopping list. Yeah, it's going through. All right, so let's take a look at the shopping list and see what's here. We got ourselves some bread, cereal. I think that's Dr. Pepper. Yeah, Dr. Pepper. And then, well, what else? Let's see. More beverages. So just a lot of beverages. It looks like it's all just grocery items. I don't see anything. Some paper towels and toilet paper, and then some toothpaste is the only thing that isn't really grocery related. So nothing looks that hard to find. So let's go in and get it. Okay, we got everything loaded up. We're gonna be going 8 minutes from here, 3.8 miles. Oh, great, this guy's right next to me. And everything loaded up just fine. I didn't have any problems or anything like that. So there was no major issues that I have to report, except that one substitution of that power bar, and that was about it. Everything else was easy to find. A lot of heavy items, but nothing too major. So it was a clean shopping experience. I didn't find any major issues when I was shopping. So, and there was no line when I headed to the checkout, so everything worked out really good. It's only 10:22 right now, so everything's moving along just fine. And this is going to be more than likely our last delivery. So, and this is going to be the end of the day. Man, I think, and then I like that now in Target they don't play any music. That makes it nice, because when they start blaring all that music and the aisles are so narrow in the shopping area, it makes it more stressful, because you can't hear when people are sneaking up on you because the music is blaring. So it helps that you can hear like the little creak of the cart when they're coming around the corner. I don't know about the Targets where you live, but over here the aisles are so narrow, and every single time you feel like you're about to have a head-on collision or run somebody over with your cart, because the aisles are so narrow. And then people just pop out of nowhere. You're just pushing the cart, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're right in front of you. So you can't push your cart really fast. You got to go real slow. So that's the biggest thing I don't like about Target, is their narrow shopping aisles. Man, I'm so glad we got this offer. I was totally going to be reporting about an $11 day, I think, which would have been really crappy. So I'm glad this came in. But I'm still starting to strongly consider turning my Lyft app on and driving people around and seeing if that can help to like generate some revenue, since the apps for delivery are not so hot right now. I know people in the comments, they're saying, well, why don't you use your Spark app? And I just don't like the Spark app. It takes a lot of energy just to go through the offers as they come in, because you can't even tell if it's a good offer or not, because it doesn't accurately tell you the right number of miles to get to whatever Walmart they're talking about. So it's one of those situations where I don't want to accept anything from Walmart, because they're not giving me a clear answer to my questions about whether or not to accept the offer. And if I try to calculate how many miles away I am from that offer, a lot of times the offer just disappears, or it just takes me so long to find out, no, it's not what I wanted, that I'm being pinged by the other apps to do something else. So it becomes just too difficult to manage having that app open along with the other ones. So I could easily do like Lyft with Doordash and Uber Eats with no problem, because I just toggle really quickly over to the app, and in less than a second I know whether or not I want to take it, just based on the money to mile ratio, and that's it. And that's how I've always been with these apps, is you've always just been given an accurate number of, well, not always accurate, but you're supposedly given an accurate number of miles, and then they give you the amount of money that you're expected to earn on that trip. And so that's the way it's always been. So to lose or to not have that piece of information in regards to miles is just, it's just a waste of my time. It's like, I'm not gonna spend my time sitting there trying to figure out, well, how close is this Walmart for me to get to it? It's just not worth it. So I'm moving on from that one, and yeah, that's just not going to happen. But things may pick up. Somebody was asking me on the comments, they're like, when do you think it's going to pick up? When is the summer slowdown going to end? And I have a feeling it's just going to be just like anything else. We're going to have peaks and valleys. We have a 4th of July weekend, or 4th of July coming up. It's not on the weekend, but it's coming up. I think, is it on a Thursday or something? So I think everyone's going to be in the spending mood, not this weekend, obviously, but next weekend. And possibly even from the 4th of July on, I think people are going to be in spending moods. That's my best guess. And then after that, I don't know what's going to happen. I know that usually like around, what is it, Labor Day, then things start to pick up again. And there's also going to be less drivers on the road, because I'm sure a lot of the people that do these Doordash and Uber Eats are people that are out of school right now. They're out of college or whatever, and they're doing it to make some extra money. But they'll have to go back to school, and then they won't be doing it anymore. So then they'll be gone and out of the picture. And that's just a demographic of drivers who won't be on the road. So that's a potential to bring back revenue, especially for me, because I just work the mornings, and that's usually when school is in session, is in the mornings. So yeah, so I have a feeling that things are just going to be up and down all summer long. I don't know what's going on with driving people around, because I haven't done anything, but I know for sure, like if I turn the app on at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., I would be bombarded with offers to go get people rides to the airport, because it's always been that way. And no matter what economy we're in, people always have to go to the airport, especially in this town. They're either flying out because they finished visiting family, or they're flying out because they have to go on a business trip, or they have to, they're leaving their vacation home here and they're going back to their house, their primary residence, wherever the heck they live. So, because a lot of people here, they own multiple homes. They have 2 homes. This is like their vacation home, and then they have another one that they go to that's their primary home, their hometown that they live in. And so they go back and forth. And then some people actually have like rental properties here. So they'll come out to check on their rental properties, and then back they'll go to their wherever the heck they live once they physically have seen that their rental property is safe and sound. So yeah, there's still opportunities. It's just a matter of, do I really want to deal with people? And I would have to also rearrange my trunk and flatten everything out so all my bags were kind of hidden, so that way I can easily put the luggage in there and get it all organized, so everything would work out smooth, and they wouldn't be like, hey, why is all your junk here in the back? Because especially early in the morning, when you get like a family trying to get in your car and they want to get all their luggage in there, and they see you have it loaded with all kinds of delivery bags, they are not happy. So you gotta make sure you organize it right. Oh, I better turn off the navigation. So I'm turning off the navigation, and now we are just on cruise mode here. As soon as we get into the neighborhood, I'm gonna flip it around like I always do. So I think this is a repeat customer. I think I've been to this house before, because when I saw the street name, it rang a bell. I'm like, oh, I think this is the one. And this house, they're very generous, as I recall. They're always tipping very well. So as soon as I put 2 plus 2 together, I'm like, well, generous tipper, because I'm getting a really good amount of money for this one. And then the street, I'm like, oh, I recognize that street. I don't know the exact address number, but I knew the street, so I'm like, well, it's probably them. So let's see, I'm gonna turn up here. Let me turn the camera around. Coming into the neighborhood. Let's see, I believe it's gonna be on the right. Just a few more feet. This is a really nice neighborhood. I would like to live up here. I like the whole vibe of this area right here. It's almost like you're in Anthem Country Club, but it's not Anthem Country Club. Let's see. Not this one. Did I pass it?
The customer requested you leave the order at
Let's
their
see.
door.
Is it this one?
They
Oh yeah, it's
asked to
this
follow
one.
instructions.
All right, let me get over here, and then we'll drop it off. All right, let's do it. right, well, that was the house, all right. Oh, let me turn the camera around. That was the house where the people are generous, so it was the house. And it was a lot of stuff. Oh, man. I don't know how many trips I made back and forth, but there were a lot of beverages, so it's pretty heavy. And luckily the walkway was really short, so it was easy to get to, no problem. And I'm just grateful I have all those bags. It makes it real easy to carry all kinds of stuff pretty quickly, so without damaging anything. So that worked out really good. And I think the only stress point inside the store that I could just remembered was that they only had 2 6-packs of the Dr. Pepper with no sugar left. So I got the last one, so I was really lucky. I was like, oh, thank goodness. I can't think of anything else. Everything else was good. So yeah, I just have the apps on now just in case something else super great comes in. But other than that, we're going to be wrapping things up as soon as I get closer to the home base. So, man, I got to crank the air some more. It was warm. What's the temperature? Well, the temperature says it's only 98 degrees, but man, it feels hot. But probably from me just carrying all that stuff is what's doing it. I'm like, woo, man, very heavy. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with gig work right now. I'm sure all of us are worried. We're like, because this is a very unstable, insecure type of way to make money, and you just don't know what's around the corner. But that's the way it is with anything. Anytime with any kind of job, in regards to when you're on your own, you're the captain of your own ship. Uber Eats, $8.06, 8.3 miles now. Yeah, you're the captain of your own ship, so that's what makes it so great when you're riding high and everything's great. And then when the storm comes in, then you realize, oh shoot, you're all by yourself, and are you going to be able to weather the storm, or are you going to have to abandon ship? Let's see, am I getting something from Doordash? I thought I heard a chime. Nope. Yeah, so you just can't predict, and you got to make sure you batten down your hatches. You got to make sure you're prepared. So hopefully all of you out there, you've diversified your revenue streams if you're doing this full time and you have other means to turn to keep yourself afloat. Since I've been doing, I've had my own business, God, for so long, since 2007. So I don't know how, it was that 17 years. So Uber Eats, $4.41, 3.7 miles now. Yeah, so I know how to weather storms because I've been doing it for so long. You kind of have to think of yourself as you're a one-man operation, and so you have to make sure that when times are going great, you've got to sock stuff away and be smart with your money. And then when times are bad, you've got to know, you got to turn to your resources, things that you've created that are going to be able to keep you afloat. Those are your life preservers in case the boat sinks, until you can get your ship going again. So, but the future is really is a mystery. It's hard to know what's going to happen. If I was in my 20s, I don't think I would be doing this type of thing, because you really, in your 20s is the prime of your life for being marketable and hireable for companies. If you ever worked for a company, any type of size of company, if you look around, most people are in their 20s, and that's the age group that is the most hireable, because, well, for obvious reasons, they're young and they're healthy, and they don't have the kind of commitments that older people have, and since they're still learning, you can get them for cheaper than you can older people with more experience. So, if you're in your 20s, you're supposed to be going to the kind of places that are going to nurture you and give you the kind of experience you need until they give you the boot, and then you got to learn how to take care. You got to learn how to steer your own course. But if you're young, I recommend that you find some type of full-time work and just learn what that's all about. So you can just really, and it also helps too, because if you have a real bad experience doing it, it just reassures you like you don't want to ever do that again. So that's what I think. But you know, you hear these stories about these young kids who are just in college and they never get a full-time job. They come up with these great ideas and they start their own business right away. But those are rare. It's rare to find people that actually have that kind of initiative when you're young, because you know, when you're young, all you care about is being popular and, you know, dating, and you know, you want to have fun, and you're not even thinking about it. You don't even know you don't even understand how it is to even manage money, or what business really even means. When young people think of business, they think of this old man in a business suit with a briefcase. They don't even associate themselves with what business is. So it takes a while. And I think a lot of times young people that fall into successful businesses will first think of it just as something fun to do. You know, at first it's just something fun that they're drawn to, but then it turns out coincidentally that it's making money. That seems to be the most common thread with young people. That, or they have family members, older family members, who guide them and see something in them and invest their time and finances into them to get themselves going and to make it so that they are truly going to be successful. So I'm turning the apps off. We're almost back to the home base. Let's zap these suckers close. All right, it's closed. It's time to throw up the numbers. Throw them up. There they are. That's how much money we made. I can see it right now. We made $44. Woo woo. That's better than what we were going to make before. So yeah, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed watching those tiny deliveries and that one giant one. And that's it. So thank you all so much for watching once again, and I'll see you again on the next one. Bye for now.